Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Judge Jeanine does not hold back in this epic tirade against not only the mainstream media, but the crime problem that still plagues Washington, D.C. Let's dive in.
For rape, one; murder, robbery, one; burglary, one. But if you shoot someone and don't kill them, I don't have jurisdiction. It goes to the Attorney General, the State Attorney General, Brian Schwab, and the focus is family court rehabilitation. Now, I was a family court judge in New York for a short period of time. The mission there is not punishment, it's rehabilitation, as evidenced by, do we have those posters? Yeah, we had a poster with what you get is yoga, and you get ice cream socials in family court. Well, I'm done with yoga and ice cream socials. We've got to change the law to bring them into the justice system. We've got to get rid of the three statutes or three laws passed by the D.C. Council. Number one is the Youth Rehabilitation Act, where you basically say with the Youth Rehabilitation Act that what we're going to do is we're going to say, if you're sentenced and you're under the age of 25, that the judge can give you probation irrespective of what the crime is. That's nonsense. And that's why a judge, and you're tired of hearing about me say this, that's why a judge gave a 19-year-old 2-3 weeks ago, and I wrote an op-ed piece, gave a 19-year-old probation, and I understand it's 2 years probation to go to college with no mandate, for getting on a public bus with an illegal gun, shooting an individual in the chest, which to me is intent to kill. And he walked away, after we convicted him, he walked away with no jail time. If that's what you want in this district, then I'm the wrong person to be United States Attorney. Number one, the Incarceration Reduction Act. The Incarceration Reduction Act that the D.C. left-leaning council passed says if you're 25 years old and you were sentenced to 15 years as a young kid for probably murder, even a serial murderer, we can let you out if you're 25. We can let you out because, not because you're rehabilitated, not because the offense wasn't that bad, but because we can. And that's got to go. All right? And the third thing is record sealing. I go through all of the effort to get a conviction, and they want to seal the convictions. They want to say, we want to seal convictions after 5 years. If I'm a mother, and thank God my kids are older, if I'm a mother, I want to know if a nanny has an assault conviction. If I'm an employer, I want to know if this person has been convicted of larceny or petty larceny. Or if, say, I'm not in a public school, but I got a private, like, teaching a tennis group. I need to know if this guy's a predator, a pedophile. Everything about the D.C. Council's focus is defendant-oriented. I'm oriented to these people, and the people of the district are as well. Okay, you're out of time? That means he's had enough. Goodbye. Thank you. I want you to report on this. This is important.
You said it's guns on the street that's causing this problem. Are you concerned that the DOJ's funding cuts to gun violence prevention programs undermine
Oh, stop it. We are putting all kinds of resources onto the street.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Martin issued a press release hailing the drop in crime rates at the end of April. What changed?
It's never enough. This changed. This changed. It's never enough. You tell these families crime has dropped. You tell the mother of the intern who was shot going out from McDonald's near the Washington Convention Center, oh, crime is down. You tell the kid who was just beat the hell and back with a severe concussion and a broken nose, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight. Thank you.
Go get him, Judge Jeanine. Go get him. Good for Trump for actually doing something like this. Getting someone that isn't just a TV star. All right, it's not because she's a Fox News host. The reason we call her Judge Jeanine is because she's earned it. And she's now having a chance to get back in the field, and she is not having it with these reporters. Now, I understand reporters have to ask tough questions. I understand that you're supposed to care about certain issues, and I know at a certain point that reporters don't actually make the decisions. But I'd really, really appreciate it if they would hold more Democrats accountable, like Muriel Bowser, for instance. Why do they just refuse to seem like they're ever dealing with people at the local level? Why do they seem so engaged with only the people at the top? That's because that's what gets views. All right, that's the truth, and I'm kind of guilty of this myself. That's a big reason what we do with this channel. But what we also do is try to tell you what's actually going on. And what they're trying to say in this video, what the reporter at the very end was trying to say that, oh, the rates are down. Okay. What is an acceptable rate? For not just for DC, but in general. What would you consider, just you, as an individual, what would you consider to be an acceptable crime rate? The reality is the crime rate is just too stinking high in DC. It's awful out there. There's pretty much technically there's 3 safe places you can be in DC and know you're going to be safe. There's a small circle that can be made of about 10 blocks outside of Capitol Hill. Okay? There's a small circle outside of Capitol Hill. Then starting at the edge of the White House on the eastern edge, and you go in a straight line towards Georgetown and Rock Creek Park. And even that's not that safe. The rest, you have to drive through it to know it. But it's bad. It is awful in DC. And it's often because, well, DC itself screwed itself over by not allowing business districts. It is a city specifically designed to run a government, and as government has outsourced so many of their jobs and positions, well, government workers don't need to live in the city, but someone's going to live there, and it's people that ultimately don't have enough money to keep certain areas, so it ends up in the self-fulfilling prophecy of the Democrat Party that happens every single time they take power. They get a handful of wealthy individuals, and they get them to subsidize a whole lot of poor individuals. And those poor neighborhoods don't have much of a choice. And now we have President Trump having the guts to get in there and say, you know what? I'm sending in the National Guard. Okay? That is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen too many horror stories. We've seen too many times of what happens when crime has been allowed to get out of control. Just complete spiral. This is insane, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that we've allowed this to occur is going to be a stain upon our own memories. But there is help. There is a way to get around these problems. And guess what? Donald Trump is doing what he can. That's why Judge Jeanine is in there. That's why he's sending in the National Guard. He is setting a precedent that Democrats, if you refuse to govern yourselves, we're going to have to do it for you, right? We had to go into Los Angeles because Gavin Newsom wouldn't pull the trigger. And the moment Donald Trump did, within 24 hours, Gavin Newsom magically says, well, I think we can get some more law enforcement folks in there. Funny how that happens. I guess that's what you call leading by example. But the reality is the Democrat Party does not want to admit that there's a criminal underbelly in their own cities. And it's mainly because of, well, I was talking about neighborhoods earlier. The neighborhoods that I'm talking about, they don't have the crime. They have nice little parks. They have areas where you can walk around. What crime are we talking about? We've lived in these nice little blocks over here. I'm sure the rest of DC's fine. These are the same people who wouldn't know what Mambo sauce is. By the way, if you do know, it's kind of gross. It's not good. I don't know why DC makes a whole thing of it. It is not good. But if you don't know what that is, that's a kind of sauce that's famous to the DC area. And you can tell which people actually enjoy it and which people don't. It's usually rich white liberals who don't enjoy it, let's put it that way. And the reason I point that out is because they don't understand what happens outside their little enclaves, what happens outside their little gated communities, what happens outside their luxury apartments. They don't understand the world that they've created. They refuse to acknowledge it, and then even when it's waved in front of their faces, they will do what they always do, what Democrats always do. They deflect and they deny. They'll find some way to blame this on somebody else. Oh, the problem's actually this. It's not the crime, it's the poverty. Nope, it's the crime. It is the crime. And they have refused. The Democrat Party has refused to deal with this issue, and they've given up on being the party of law and order ever since the 1960s, and they have been desperate to get it back. And ironically, in the process, they made the whole thing worse, by the way. The 90s crime bill, written by Joe Biden, by the way, that didn't end too well because they overdid it. What we're now seeing is Republicans saying, you know what? We've got an opportunity here, and we are going to take it. So good for Donald Trump. Good for Judge Jeanine. This is how you handle the mainstream media. You remind them what the problem is, how we're trying to solve the problem, and then you tell it again, all right? That's what you're supposed to do. We're putting on a clinic here, and ultimately, we're starting to realize that the tide is turning. People are okay with this, and what needs to be addressed here, ultimately, is that when Democrats refuse to govern, bad things happen. It's just that simple. And they have refused to govern in D.C. because they're fine with the status quo, and the status quo is changing, and the American people, for the most part, seem to be supporting this. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoy that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.